Hello, Jobfather Nation. Sorry for the delay. We are excited to be here this wonderful Friday. Just so you know, Jobfather Nation, we are a little over a week away from Christmas, 2 weeks away from New
Oh yeah.
Year's, and Jobfather is proud to be a part of Joco Community Radio, the voice of Johnson County, Texas. To listen or watch, just go to your Joco radio app in your app store. You can go through your iPhone or your Android device, download the app, listen to the lineup and more for free at your time and your pleasure, especially yours truly, the Job Father. But we are very proud to be a part of Joco Community Radio, the voice of Johnson County, Texas. Now, before we get moving forward, Job Father Nation, with this episode, which we're excited about, let's bow our head for a really quick word of prayer. Father God, we are just so thankful and honored to be here to support the job seeker community. We're more thankful, Lord, that you have sent your son to die on the cross for our sins, and we're so excited to celebrate his birth in this upcoming week. Lord, we just ask that you would lead, guide, and direct our conversations. Help us to help and empower those that are in the job seeker community. Lead, guide, and direct us and open doors for all job seekers, Lord. We just thank you. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Well,
Amen.
Foster, I know we probably have some announcements, but how exciting! We have got an incredible show and some incredible guests today.
Craig squared today.
Craig Squared.
Man, we're gonna have a good time today. We've got the two best Craigs that you guys are gonna meet
Woo!
in the job
I
fair.
can vouch for that. They're great Craigs.
Yeah, they're great Craigs. So I'm really excited to have Fisher with us, the fish dog, man. That's
Fish dog.
me and Craig have been friends forever, and Talent Net Media Live is one of his creations, just one of them. We both been recruiting longer than we want to tell you guys. We may not tell you guys the number, but
Yeah.
honestly, guys, and I'm excited because I invited a bunch of recruiters all over the country to see and hear Craig today, because
Good deal.
Craig is he trains us. If you're a recruiter, that Talent Net Live is something that you want to be a part of. It's been around for a number of years. There's one here in Dallas, one, or do we have two each year, Craig?
We have one here in Dallas in the
And one in
fall and
Austin.
one in Austin in the spring, right? On the
Yep,
first day of
that's
South by
right.
Southwest. Yeah.
So we'll be talking about that later. Before we get started, I want to talk, guys. We went crazy at South Lake Focus Group yesterday. So, um, the number one thing that I've been hearing is, Foster, it's this time of year, nobody's hiring. I'm going to pull the plug and take my foot
Not
off the
so.
gas. You
Not
see,
so.
see there, you hear what Dana just said? Not
But
so.
hey, Foster,
Uh huh.
you when you share about South Lake, after that, you got to do your dad joke, okay?
Oh yeah. Don't let me forget the dad jokes. I always start. I always start with a dad joke. So let me see if I can remember this one good. Craig Bohall helps me with the dad jokes sometimes.
Craig, your dad jokes are awesome.
We have a good time with that. Craig and I, we're going to talk about a event that we have going on too, and we got to get Craig Fisher involved in our event. Craig Bohall.
Amen.
Oh my goodness. So, guys, when Santa Claus is coming down see if I get this right. When Santa Claus is coming down the chimney and he gets stuck. What's the problem there?
Ate,
Ah,
ate too many cookies.
He has claustrophobia.
you're
Okay,
so
so
funny.
you see, I'm not funny, y'all. I know you guys in the chat. You can let me have it. I understand. But we got to have a dad joke. So let's talk about my excitement from yesterday, South Lake Focus Group, because
Yes.
we're always talking about this time of year. Oh, there's nothing going on this time of year. Well, Dana just told us it's not true. Dana is a recruiter, and she ought to know because she's doing a bunch of hiring over there for Beacon Oil Specialists.
Oh,
So
yes.
these people landed, and it's so many of them. I'm just going to mention the names, guys. Hey, Debbie and Ray Gilliam. You see, I'm ADD. I see things I get caught. Okay, guys, we had wonderful landings yesterday. Abel Alanis is an HR director, and he, as out of our HR Career Search Network group. We have a focus group for that. Jennifer Massival, Lisa Medley. I got to pause on Lisa Medley because Lisa Medley is an Auburn Tiger, and one of my best friends is an Auburn Tiger. He got his PhD there, and he's shifted me to be a War Eagle. So, Lisa, if you're listening, chime in on the chime. But congratulations, War Eagle for you. Let's go. And y'all see the shirt I got on. I wore this for Craig because Craig went to OU.
That's right.
All right. Okay. Jonathan Saunders landed. Monica Richmond landed. Quite a heavy position. We've got Miss Brown, Tanya Brown landed. She had been at it for a while, guys. Stick with it. Keep your foot on the gas. Keep networking, guys. Good morning, John Robinson. All right, all right. I see you chiming in there. You guys chime in and let me know you're there. Jim Williams. All right, man. I like that last name, Jim. One more landing, and that guy I saved for last because that's Stephen Lacey, and he's one of our leaders at South Lake Focus Group, along with me and a few other folks. And Stephen got a awesome, I think it's a 4-month contract. Stephen, if you're on there, if you correct me if I'm wrong, but I get excited, guys, because y'all call me the Jobfather, and that's cool. That's the only nickname I've ever had that I really enjoy, and y'all know how the nickname thing is. But we are here. Craig is here. Craig Bohall is here. Hey, Holly Doty, she's on with us. Misty. Misty's my girl in the whole wide world there. Misty, my buddy. Schoolcraft is her last name. I see you guys. I appreciate you guys chiming in and let me know you're there today.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I'm bumbling as I always do. But
Yeah, yeah. We got to announce some jobs.
we got to announce some jobs. So I'm going to go to Dana. Dana, tell us about a couple of jobs, and then we're going to get to Craig.
Absolutely. And Jobfather Nation, something that is wonderful to do. We have listeners all throughout the United States. We're not only part of the largest job seekers network
Don't
here
forget
in
Germany and
Dallas,
France.
yeah, in Dallas Fort Worth, but we're part of large job seeker networks throughout the United States and to include Germany and France, and I believe
They're not the
Brazil
only
as
ones.
well, because
Yeah,
I've shared this with some of my friends in Brazil.
and
So
the Gold Coast and Germany, and I wish said Germany, and oh my goodness, it's all over the globe, you guys.
all over the
It
globe, it's
really is.
phenomenal. It's
That's the
so
way.
exciting.
That's the way it is online anyway. So you know.
Yes, exactly. Well, with that being said, um, it is a great opportunity and it is very affordable to advertise your open positions with the Job Father so that we can make an announcement in the first half of our show. So
Uh-huh.
just reach out to Foster directly. Mez will put his email address and website up there. Reach out to Foster directly and we can get you hooked up. But for Beacon Oil specialists, we're hiring a director of tax, new position. We're hiring a director of compliance, new position. We're also hiring a senior financial analyst and a
I got
director
one
of,
for
yes, and I want to get that information. We talked about that last week, so we got to do
you.
that. We
Hmm.
also have a director of payer contracting and a couple billing positions, all here in the Dallas Fort Worth area. And our office is right at the corner of 635 and 75. So we're very centrally located in the Metroplex. I added my email address, dgingrich at beaconoralspecialist.com, so that Mez could put that in the chat. And we just want to say thank you, Mez, for being such a cornerstone of our show.
Oh goodness,
She
yeah.
is the backbone of our show, and we couldn't do it without Mez. So thank you, Mez. We really do appreciate you. With that being said, Foster, back to you.
Okay, back to me. What do I say? I don't know where to go from here. It's only my
Well,
show,
I think
right?
we should probably introduce our awesome guest.
Well, let's start with Craig. Well, there be if you say Craig, two guys will answer. So
Yeah.
Mhm.
let's start with
Which
let's start
one?
let's start with the fish dog. That's my
Fish
that's my
dog.
that's my man, 50 grand up there, Chris. Yeah, what am I saying? Chris Ray is what I meant to say. Good morning, Chris Ray. I'm going over to Craig Fisher. Guys, Craig Fisher, as I said, has been a recruiter for a long time. He's a leader of recruiters in my estimation. Craig, let's talk a little bit about you. Let's talk about a little bit about Talent Net Live and all that kind of stuff. It's time for Foster to shut up and let somebody else talk.
We love Foster.
Thanks, Foster. So, yeah, I've been in the recruiting business since 1995. Before that, I sold drugs for a pharmaceutical company.
Nice.
I was a drug pusher and a
Nice.
hospital sales rep. Um, but then I got into recruiting doctors, and then very quickly after that, the tech boom hit, and was never looked back. And I've done every job there is in recruiting and hiring. Recruiter, salesperson, manager, owner of a staffing company, and that all became kind of a thing where I started advising the employers that I was helping to hire people how to brand themselves better, so it would make my job easier. And now that's become a business all its own, and I've been doing that, uh, just that, since about 2011, and that's led to me being asked to be an internal employee communications and branding leader for big companies like CA Technologies. I was the
Oh man.
CMO for Allegis Global Solutions, which is
Yeah.
one of the largest staffing companies in the world, for several years, and led their consulting practice doing basically the same thing. And since COVID hit, I've just kind of reopened my consulting business. I have a fractional team, and we help enterprise level employers basically fix their candidate experience, their application process, their job descriptions. If they're not
Ooh.
coming up well, we call that employer SEO, search engine
Hmm.
optimization. So, how to get viewed better by the job seeker community, how to have a clear and transparent message about who your company is so they can opt in better when applying, and how to have a kind of a seamless process when job seekers do want to apply to your job, and they convert well and don't fall off midway through the process. So currently, we're working on fixing about 13,000 job descriptions for JP Morgan Chase. That's been our big project for a while.
That's a
Wow.
big project.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a big and guys, companies. I want you guys to know, as you're hiring recruiters in, and I know that we don't have time to train and all that kind of stuff anymore. You know what? You talent acquisition leaders like myself in the past, or I guess I still am, guys. You guys need to be connected with Craig Fisher, and you will see Craig. It's easy to see when you put in Craig Fisher, that face right there that you're looking at right now pop up on LinkedIn. Connect with that guy and reach out, have a conversation with Craig, talk to Craig about what's going on, because recruiting has changed even since we've been having Talent Net Live. Recruiting has changed. The pandemic changed everything. Oh my goodness. And so I strongly suggest that you guys reach out to Craig Fisher and learn about how to get your recruiters going the right way, the right direction. All right, I see my man Eugene Clay. Gene is my Pittsburgh Steeler fan. He's with us. Jason Hopper's with us. Dana.
J Hop, J
J Hop.
Hop. We love J Hop. He's always been a big part of our show and always is willing to help y'all at Jewish Family Services. And no,
That's
you don't
right.
have to be Jewish to utilize those services.
JFSDallas.org. I love it.
Yep, yep.
Craig, what would you say to job seekers? Maybe we should cover some things that are available for job seekers out there, since we have so many of them that join with us at TalentNet Live to kind of learn how we think. If you guys know how recruiters think, you can work with them better, I think.
Yeah. So the fun thing that job seekers can learn from joining the employers and the HR technology vendors and the recruiters who attend the TalentNet Live conference every year is you really get to understand the process, right? So we have this. I say it's a misconception that machines filter out resumes and that employers don't really care and ghost job seekers, and it's not really like that, right? It's not nearly as well coordinated as that, even. So, what really happens is we in the white collar sector, certainly post jobs to job boards and
Yeah.
to the
Uh-huh.
internet, and we get thousands of replies, 90% of which are not accurate for that job. And so it becomes really difficult to narrow down which candidates you do need to engage with, and then also have a plan to talk to the rest of the candidates and say, look, you're not a fit for this job, but we'd love to keep in touch with you in case there is a job, right?
Right.
And so that's the reality. I mean, so the resumes pile up in recruiters' inboxes, the notifications, and they go back and they search through those inboxes or spreadsheets for things that they think match the job. And there's a much more human element to it, and it's not intentional that any recruiter or organization ghosts a company. And so you really do learn to understand what the hiring process is like, from the employer and recruiter level at the Talent Net Live conference, and the technology that goes into how we collect, collate, and sort resumes and
Yeah.
job descriptions and things like that.
Yeah. Craig, I'm going to ask you a question, and this is going to be an impactful kind of thing for job seekers to hear, because I want you job seekers to focus on what
Yes.
we're about to say. And Dana and I talk about this
Yeah.
all the time. If Craig puts a posting out for a fairly intricate, maybe project manager or somebody in IT, or maybe a leader in marketing or something like that, Craig, if you get 100 resumes, how many of those resumes are a good fit?
Yeah, I mean, literally 10% might be a good
See,
fit
if you're lucky.
if you're lucky. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you've written a very good job description, right? I mean, what you want is for job seekers to be able to opt in better or opt out better,
Uh-huh.
right? So your job description has to be specific enough and say, look, we love everyone basically, but if you're the type of person that really enjoys this, and this, we're a company looking for those kind of people, and here's a little bit about us. Imagine what we could do together. Now that's the inspiring part, but then when you get to the qualifications part, there are a couple of must-haves, but there shouldn't be 50 must-haves.
Yeah. Yeah, because a lot of job seekers in the panic of not having a job, you guys apply to those nice to have, and that's not what we're looking for. It's nice if you've been in that environment, but look at those requirements, guys, those main requirements. And even in the requirements section, the ones that are at the top are the ones that produce the most pain. That's what we companies are looking for.
That's right. Yeah, and uh, there's applying to jobs, right? That's one way, and then there's networking your way into a job, which kind of works also. And then
Mm-hmm.
there is being found, which is my favorite way for job seekers to kind of get on the radar of recruiters,
Hmm.
Ooh, it's good,
right?
good.
And
Mm-hmm.
I call this an inbound approach. And so, kind of what you want to do is develop your persona online as the subject matter expert of the thing that you're trying to get hired for, right? And we can talk in a few minutes about how to decide what that is. But really, the methodology is write almost daily, uh, and post things on LinkedIn and Twitter and wherever you're comfortable posting.
Mm-hmm.
Facebook is good too. Recruiters use Facebook all the time.
Yeah, we're starting to use
Oh
them more.
yeah,
Yeah.
all the
Yeah,
time.
all the time. Um, and so post about the things that you're passionate about, and that thing that you're trying to get hired for, and write things that would be helpful to people doing the job. Right. And so I use, and Foster, you know this,
Amen.
and I think you've all heard this before. I use the 5-to-1 give to ask ratio when it comes to
Ooh,
posting.
explain, explain.
So it's kind of the 80-20 principle, right?
Uh-huh.
If you give a lot more than you ask, then you're going to build trust within your network or your relationships.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So if you're just online complaining all the time and asking people to refer you to jobs and saying, I'm desperate, you're not going to get much out of your network because you're not giving anything. And so if you post 5 things that are helpful, interesting, funny, even a little bit personal, right?
Yeah,
Sharing things
yeah.
about yourself so people can get to know you, 5 times, and then every once in a while, oh, and by the way, I'm looking for my next great thing. Would love to meet anyone who is hiring for that. Um,
Mm,
you know,
mhm.
the other thing you can do is start a company page for yourself on LinkedIn. You don't even have to have an LLC to do this. A company page is free,
Mm-hmm.
right? Call it something generic enough that it can have a pivot in it at some point if you need to. So Craig Fisher and Group or whatever, and make your LinkedIn profile experience. Attach uh, that company page under your current experience, and your title might be "Looking for my next great thing" or whatever, or SME on XYZ topic. And then you're going to, if you put that in your experience with a logo and a background, and then you start adding some content there as well, it's going to show up on your LinkedIn profile and look
Yeah. Well.
professional,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Ooh, good point. Yeah.
And then you never have a break in your resume at that point because you've always got this other thing kind of open. And so that's kind of a good way to establish a consistent presence. You can always fall back to that. I do this also. Like I have a LinkedIn profile, corporate profile for LinkedIn Training Dallas. So that's the thing that I've always got to fall back on, but it's a side project. I help people, do things like what we're talking about right now.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Phenomenal. And I appreciate you explaining that concept. I think giving individuals that are in the market for a role kind of the background of what we do and what we look for can help them kind of understand how to approach the search a little bit better.
Right. And you know this when you go to check out a candidate on LinkedIn and they've posted lots of, quality things about that role that you're
Yeah.
Oh
trying to
yeah.
hire
Oh
for.
yeah. Yeah.
They
Yeah.
are way more legitimate than ones that have no, either it's just complaining or they have no activity. Right. So you look for those people that are active, that are posting really good and interesting stuff. And the other thing job seekers
Yes.
can do to make this work better, right? Find the 5 companies that you really want to work for and start connecting with the people in that company, recruiters, hiring managers, whatever, people doing that job, and then tag them in the things you're posting,
Yeah.
right? I mean, get in their
Yeah.
peripheral vision, get on their radar, do some research about those 5 companies and compare and contrast and write a report about it and post that and do a video about it. And then tag everybody in all those companies. I mean, you think you're going to just magically appear in someone's inbox and get a job? It doesn't work that way.
It don't work like that. Mm-mm. It don't
That's
work like that.
that's a
Craig
Okay,
said
I
that.
losing
like
number.
what you just said. I think maybe let's repeat that one more time because that was
Uh
really
huh.
really
Yeah.
good. About tagging the companies, doing a post with the listeners one more time to make sure nobody missed that because that's important.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
good. Yeah. That's yeah.
So I say start with a narrow focus, right? Pick 5 companies that you would like to work for. And uh, let's say, how do you pick those companies? Well, imagine yourself on one side of a pond, and what you want to do is on the other side of a pond. You can't just jump across it, and swimming is going to take too long. And so, kind of go peripherally around the last thing that you got paid for that you enjoyed doing. Who are the companies that were near and close to that organization? The vendors of that
Right.
company or the customers of that company. That's a good way to start. So, pick 5 companies you want to do work for and then start doing some research about those organizations or posting things that might help the people in your role do their job better. And then start
Hmm.
connecting with and tagging those people in your posts so that they see that you are showing your subject matter expertise
Right.
in that realm.
Right. Not only is it going to help your algorithms, guys, on that, we talk about that mechanical stuff, but when Craig and I are looking for a specific thing, when we see that you've been involved and you've been sharing information about it, you look like the top of the line subject matter expert in that. And guess what? Craig and I are going to call you and talk to you.
That's right.
And Dana
Exactly.
and Bo Hall too. Bo Hall's the hiring
Exactly.
manager.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, and
Craig
make it
Bo
easy
Hall
for
Very,
does
very
this what
true.
we're talking about. I love it.
make it easy for us to communicate with you, right? I mean,
Yes.
make sure that you're contact information is readily available.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Yes. I have resumes where their phone number's not on there. Well, why apply to the job if you're
Oh
not going to
my
give your phone
Right.
God.
number?
Yeah.
Don't do
Don't get
that.
me started there. Goodness.
And
Yeah.
go as far as to say this, right? Like on your LinkedIn profile, you can text me anytime at this number if you're interested in talking to me about a job, right? Just go ahead and write that on your profile, top of your about
Exactly.
page or in your experience, right?
Yep.
Or
Guys, we're
create a,
about to go to I'm sorry, Craig, but
oh,
don't
that's
go
okay.
anywhere. We'll be right here. We'll do this Craig thing. But we're going to
We'll
commercial and
see you
we'll
on
be
the
back.
other
All
side.
right.
See you on the other side.
If you are trying to quit drinking or doing too many drugs, listen to me. You don't know me and we'll never meet. I had a problem like you once. I
No,
drank and
I
used to
can't take
party
you
a
out right
little too
now. I'm
much till it
sorry.
got out of
No,
control and
eat your
almost
food.
ruined my life. I realized I needed help to fix my problem before it totally destroyed me. If you've tried to fix your drinking and drug problem and you know you can't do it alone, you need to call the National Treatment Advisors. They'll immerse you into a 30-day program to replace your old habits with new habits and totally change your life. And if you have PPO private health insurance, the entire program may be covered. Fix your problem right now before it gets any worse. Get clean. Call now and learn more. 877-247-1581. 877-247-1581. 877-247-1581. Fast Track Student Loans can get your student loans out of default, stop any wage garnishments, stop collection calls, and stop seizure of your tax refund. Give yourself a break. Stop the stress and get your student loan payments down to as little as $25 a month based on what you can afford to pay. 800-709-4395. 800-709-4395. 800-709-4395. 800-709-4395. Fast Track Student Loans can get your student loans out of default, stop any wage garnishments, stop collection calls, and stop seizure of your tax refund. Give yourself a break. Stop the stress and get your student loan payments down to as little as $25 a month based on what you can afford to pay. 800-709-4395. 800-709-4395. 800-709-4395. 800-709-4395.
Joco Community Radio. Listen live at tunein.com.
Guys, we apologize for the technical delay today.
Okay, it's printed.
All right, I can hear Craig, so that means I think everybody can hear me. So,
Yeah,
guys,
we're good.
we are having some video technical difficulties, which I do not know which are, but we're still here. And I want to shut up and let Dana. Can you hear me? I see your mouth running, but I can't. I can't. Your mouth running, but you can't. There we go. All right.
Jobfather Nation, we are back for the second half of the Jobfather. We are so excited to be here. Thank you for your patience. We're having some technical difficulties,
Yeah.
as Foster just mentioned, but we are excited to be here for the second half. And we have our wonderful guest, Craig Bohall, here. But before we get to that, just a reminder, Jobfather Nation and this show is proud to be a part of Joco Community Radio, the voice of Johnson County. If you want to listen at any time to the amazing lineup, just go to your app store, download the Joco Community Radio app
Yes.
for free, and you can listen and watch the lineup of amazing shows. We're proud to be a part of this network, and we encourage you to be as well. With that being said, do you have dad joke for the second
Yeah, I
half,
got a
Foster,
second half.
before we hop with Craig.
And I'm glad you said what you did because it reminded me of something. Guys, this is community radio. Uh, do what Dana said. You will be surprised. We serve the community here. So you will be surprised what is on and the values that are on the shows here on Joco
Yes.
Community Radio. And we're excited because we're going to have Tarrant County Community Radio coming up pretty soon. That's going to be
Woo!
right here. We already serve Tarrant County, but the official
I think
name is
it's
coming.
combined, isn't
It,
it?
it
Yeah.
is.
Oh, the change is gonna.
Uh-huh.
Okay, gotcha.
Uh-huh. We're
Thank
growing.
you for that.
We're growing. We love this. So, guys, go to LinkedIn if you will and find Joco Community Radio and like and share, mainly to follow us, but like and share. And that helps us do what we're doing. And we've done it over the number of years. My goodness, this show's 4 years old. And already Craig was on with us, me, Trevor, and Mark years ago on the Who You Know Job Networking show. Now we got the Job Father. Look out, the Job Father's coming. I see Jody is with us. Jody Hudson, my favorite person in the whole world, Jody Hudson. So, you know what? Let's go, guys, and meet Craig Bohall. Craig Bohall is a job seeker. I invited a number of you recruiters so you guys can get a chance to meet in my estimation, probably the number one customer success person that you're going to find. When we say customer success, get in there with your product. You companies have sold your product, your services, and Craig is going to be your point person. He's going to understand. He's going to take care of you. So, Craig, tell us a little bit about you. Tell us a little bit about the different applications that companies can look at with you. I forgot my dad joke, didn't I, Jana?
Yes, you need to put that
Let
dad
me,
joke in
okay,
there.
guys, let's hit this dad joke real quick, and then we're going to go to Craig Bohall, Craig number two. What did the third man say after his third? Now, remember this, guys, you Bible scholars. What did the third wise man say after his friends had already presented gold and frankincense? We got three more. We got another guy that we got to hear from.
Who?
The third wise man said, "But wait, there's myrrh."
Why couldn't I think of that?
Yeah, that's pretty
Oh,
good.
that's a good
Oh my
one.
God.
Oh my goodness, we got lameness all over this radio station, but we carry a value that you job seekers need to
Wait,
hear.
I love it.
That one was good.
that's good.
That one was so
Okay,
good.
let's go to Craig Bohall, guys. Craig is looking for a job. I want you guys to see, and hear Craig. We're going to talk a little bit about an organization that Craig put together for job seekers, and it's gotten very, very popular. We've outgrown every place that we've gone. We're trying to find bigger venues, and Craig is a client specialist, guys. He's going to be the one to make sure that your clients get what they bought. So, okay, Craig, go, man, go.
All right, what do you want me to start with? There was a
Tell,
lot there.
tell us about you. Tell us about. See, I know you're my brother, and I know you, and I get excited about that smile right there. But Craig, I want you to tell maybe some unique ways and things that you've been through in your career because you are looking for your next opportunity. And Craig is going to be that director, that VP level, guys. He's going to be the one that's going to lead your team in making sure that your clients are getting what they bought.
Very good. All right, real quickly, I'll tell a little bit about myself. My mother and
Yep.
father were both school teachers, so I grew up with
Me
that
too. Me too.
every day of realizing I listened to my parents say, that young boy or that young girl, they could be better. We just need to teach them more. And so I grew up thinking, oh, everybody can get better if you just teach them and educate them. And then my father was
Aw,
a coach,
yeah.
so I thought maybe we should just coach people and they'll get better. And my father was a counselor for troubled teens. And so I realized growing up, hey, you could just counsel people and they could get better. And so I've taken that into the corporate world where I realize all humans can get better. They just need to be teachable or coachable or counselable. And you just help them. And so that's what business has become to me, is helping people get better. In the
Yeah,
restaurant industry for 12 years, people came in. It wasn't about the food. It's never about the food and the drink. It's about the people,
that's right.
right?
Yeah.
And then when I was in
And the
software
service.
development and manufacturing, I've done a couple of different roles, but always client success roles. I always said, hey, it's not about the product or manufacturing. It's about the people who use it. We're, just using the product to get to the people and help change their lives. So That's what we do. That's what doctors do. It's not about the medicine. It's about the human, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
That's exactly what it's about. Craig, this I like how it happened. Craig has a gift, you guys, and I'm sure a lot of you guys are feeling that, just like our other Craig's got a gift as well. Uh, you want Craig to represent your company. Now, this is Craig
Mm-hmm.
Bohall I'm talking about, Bohall. You guys connect with Craig Bohall, especially you companies that need somebody to come in and represent you to your clients. And you know, a lot of what Craig does ends up being business development and bringing in more folks because Craig is the one that you want to have that face right there and that smile right there to be the one, the main one that you see representing your company, representing that product,
Oh, yeah.
that kind of thing. I
Yes.
don't want to get. I want to talk about the Meet the Recruiter event, but I don't want you companies to back that Craig is a job seeker and he's available and he's ready to go. So you
Yes.
guys reach out to him. Craig, let's talk about the Meet the Recruiter event and how that came about and all that.
Yes, I'll do that. I'm going to, before we jump into that, Mez asked a question and said, what companies are you looking to target? So let me just
Good
real
question,
quickly.
Maz. Yeah.
I think, one of the biggest companies that I target and one of the best ones, I think I'd be a good value add for them is Southwest Airlines. They have an
Hmm.
incredible culture. I know about 15 people that work at Southwest Airlines now. One of the recruiters over there, Manziel Chapman, super good friend of mine. So I'm trying to work in there, but I've never met a human being at Southwest or a former Southwest person that said they're really in the airline industry. They all say, we're in the people industry. We just use airplanes.
That's
So
interesting.
that's really
Mm.
what doctors should say. That's really what manufacturers should. That should be what we say in the restaurant business, retail, hotel, whatever, is we're in a people business. We just use
Yes.
X to get to the people, or this is that people come here for X, but we're in a people business helping people. So I love that about their culture. I love that about they don't call each other coworkers, they call each other cohorts over at Southwest. I mean, this is
Oh
a
yeah, yeah,
beautiful
that's true.
culture. So anyway, just getting to that, but you wanted to ask about Meet the Recruiter.
Yeah, I want you guys to understand because we've mostly got job seekers that are listening to us right now
Yeah.
because of the first part of the show. I wanted them to meet Craig Fisher, and we got a lot of people listening to us today because Craig Fisher's on here. But you know what? I like this job seeker spotlight as well. That is our
Yeah.
second part of the show. That's the part of the show that we're on right now, company, because I want you guys to meet people that I get a chance to meet. I get a chance to help. Craig and I put together. Most more Craig than Foster puts together the Meet the Recruiter event, but it's just what it sounds like. You job seekers, meet the recruiters that go a little bit beyond just the apples and oranges of job search. Job search does not, and Craig Fisher and I've talked about this for years. Job search needs to still have that human element in there because, as far as I'm concerned, as long as a human makes the decision of whether you get hired or not, then those intangibles are the ones that are incredible for you guys to focus on. And don't let your job search become mechanical, guys. It is not a machine.
Yeah.
It is a people thing. Dana, you sound like you're about to say something.
Yeah, no, and I would like to find out. I would love our listeners to learn a little bit more about Craig.
Yes.
Craig, if you could share a little bit about your background and the types of roles that you are targeting and that you're qualified for.
Okay,
Yeah.
fantastic. Love to
Yeah.
do that. So my background has always been in customers, taking care of customers. Starting when I got out of college, I worked for 12 years in the restaurant industry. Started at entry level and ended up 12 years later as a general manager of a private members-only golf club on a golf course property. So went through that whole 12 years of taking care of customers. And then, of course, when you're a manager, you start taking care of employees too. But then I spent another dozen years as director of client success, national corporate trainer for a software company. So I traveled the country, not only bringing on new customers and new companies, but going around and training 1 and 2 day training seminars. So I've done a tremendous amount of that. And recently was director of distributor success for a manufacturer where I was in charge of all the distributors in the United States and Canada for a particular company. Now, here's the interesting thing. When I'm director of distributor success, I'm helping distributors. I'm doing the same thing I did when I was a restaurant manager. I give people what they want, when they want it, how they
That's
want it.
it.
And if
Yeah.
there's a problem, I de-escalate the situation. I take care of the client. I solve their problem so that they come back a second time. It's the same thing. I've never done anything different in the corporate world than I did in the restaurant world.
It's basic
That's
stuff. It's
amazing.
basic foundational being a human kind of stuff.
Yes, for sure.
Yep.
It really is. So Craig, when you what so to share a little bit about what sets you apart from other people. What would that employer get that's different when they get you than other job seekers out there?
Oh yeah.
Well, again, I'm going to go back to that restaurant work. What I learned in the restaurant business was the value of a human being. Now, at the time, I didn't know the value of the internal part of the human being, but somebody taught me that the value of one human being could be $10,000. And I said, what? They spend like 60, 75, 80 bucks in the restaurant. What do you mean? And they said, how many times will this customer come back times, that, and you could sort of figure out a $10,000. And when I realized that, I started looking at the customer that came in with a $10,000 sign on their forehead. And I thought, we should treat this person really well. And I was only
Mhm.
looking at the money
Mhm.
part, not the heart. But I realized every person is not just the $25 they spend in here. They could be 10,000. So let's take care of them so that they come back and give us that 10,000. I don't want them to leave and never come back after $45. I want that
Exactly.
10,000. So I started talking to people in that way, thinking, I don't care if they're mad. I don't care if I give them a free drink. I don't care if I give them a free cup of, a piece of cake. It doesn't matter. Get them back. Take care of them. And then as I grew up, I realized, okay, it's not always about money. It's about the human being inside of their spirit. But really, what's more important? Getting them to come back.
That's right.
Come back so that they come back 10 times, 50 times, 100 times, so that their children come back to you. If you're a realtor, you want their children's children to be buying homes from you. And that's that longevity, retention of customers. It costs less to retain a customer than it ever does to get one.
You know
And
it
that's what
does that.
Southwest does.
Mhm.
Southwest is great at that, right? They can have
Yeah.
problems, but people seem to keep coming back to them. And nobody gets
Mhm.
charged for a bag either. So people like that too.
Oh, I love that. I'm flying Southwest for Christmas.
Yeah.
I agree with you. The prices are very reasonable, good
They are
customer
reasonable. Mhm.
service.
Take care of people.
So, mhm.
You know
So
that.
Dana and Foster, real quick,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
want
Go.
to jump in with a comment for Craig. You're so spot on about good restaurant experience, right? And what you learn in that environment. Recruiting managers and sales managers all over the world will tell you that restaurants are the best places to spot new talent
Huh.
for their organizations, for sure.
Ah.
Bartenders, good servers, absolutely.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's a good point.
Absolutely.
Really good point.
Because we have to solve problems in minutes. I can't,
Yeah.
in the corporate world, I can say, let me check into that and I'll get back to you within a day or two. In the restaurant, you solve a problem in 2 minutes.
Yeah.
That's what you're trained to do. And after 10 or 15 years of doing that, you just start realizing I can resolve conflicts, I can de-escalate things, and I can save customer relationships. Who cares if I give away a free steak? I get that customer back.
Exactly.
I like that free steak.
Exactly. I mean, who doesn't?
You know, Dana and Mez put it in the chat, guys. Our number one word on this show. I'm gonna get close to the screen when I say this.
Relationship.
Here's what Dana just said. What Dana just said.
Yes, it's so important. It really is.
Yep.
Craig and I have built a career, Craig Fisher, and I built a career by caring. We get out there and we help people, and things just grew. Oh my goodness, did it grow? Even we didn't expect to see what we say. This particular network that we're in right now is in 35 states. There are people all over the United States, and we don't want to forget Germany and France.
That's right.
The folks that are listening to us, and anybody else out there, as you guys listen to the show, please link in with me, because I find out where our show is being watched and paid attention to by you guys
Yes.
linking in with me and Dana.
And we love it. We love
Yeah.
it. We love
I
it.
So-
want you guys to hire Craig Bohall.
Hey,
Hire
speaking of Germany and France, real quick, you hiring managers with global teams, I think Craig Bohall would be a good person for your global
my
team
God,
as
yeah.
well, right? To lead those business development or customer efforts. Germany and France, my the book that I wrote about relationships is really popular in Germany, France, and UK.
Mm-hmm.
Interestingly, so I wrote the book "Hiring Humans,"
Mm,
and it's
It's awesome.
about
That's
keeping
right.
that personal touch in recruiting in the wake of all this AI and
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
automation.
awesome.
And yeah, and there's a chapter in it for job seekers called "Branding Yourself for Success."
Branding
Ooh,
yourself for success.
that's
That's right.
important.
That's
It's really
What is
cool.
good.
the name of the book
It's
again?
called Hiring
Hiring
Humans,
humans.
and you can get it at hiring-humans.com, on
Love it.
Amazon or anywhere that you find that sells books.
Oh, I love it. And it, Mez, if you wouldn't mind, if you haven't already, sticking that up for us, that would be great. I think there's so much that we can glean, learn, and implement into our lives by seeking wisdom, knowledge, and um, ideas from other people. And the job search, it can be tricky. But there are tools out there, and there are great individuals that care and want to help. So take advantage of these resources.
Can I
Dana,
share
that,
a story? Can I share a story about humanizing in the
please do.
customer service realm?
Please do. This is
Please.
your stuff. This is your
So I
stuff.
love what Craig said about humanizing things because again, in corporate world and customer success, when I manage account managers, this is what I'm trying to get them to understand. They've never been taught that it's about the
Yeah.
person. They've always been taught how to cut costs and be efficient and time management. They're
Hmm.
not taught about the human. So one thing I did when I worked for a SaaS company, they had absolutely no money, and so I said, "Hey, we got a customer coming in. Can I maybe hire a limo to go pick them up?" And they're like, "No." I said, "Can I pick them up and take them out and wine them and dine them, take them to a really nice restaurant?" Like, no, no, we don't have any money. So everything was no money, and so I got to thinking, okay, how do I do something with no money?
Uh huh.
So I had a black car. I washed it real nice, made sure it was all good inside, cleaned out. I put on a black suit with a white shirt, and I went out and bought this hat. Right?
I haven't seen that hat.
And I
Ah!
held up a sign, right? And I held up a sign. I went to the airport. I held up the sign. I said, whatever, Mr. Shizmansky or whatever. And I'm holding it up there. And he comes, he looks at it, he goes, "Oh my gosh, what are you doing?" I said, "Mr. Shizmansky, nice to see you, sir. Please follow me. Let me carry your bags." And so I just acted like I was a chauffeur. And he's like, "What are you doing?" And we get to the car, and I said, he pulls around to the trunk. I said, "No, sir, I must take your bag. Let me open the door for you." I opened the door for him. He got in. We did the whole thing, and I'm inside getting water, and it was just fun. But I had no money, and so he didn't know that the reason I was doing it was because I was trying to impress him, but I didn't have any money. But what he said, "Nobody's ever picked me up from the airport in that way,
In that
ever."
fashion. Yeah.
That's
He said,
great.
"I've never had," and so I thought, okay, whatever happens now in our business relationship, I've
Yeah.
humanized him to a point where he said, "No one's ever treated me like that." And so, if we can do that in the corporate world and say, let's just give people a little shot sometime of saying, "Nobody's ever treated me like that."
Mm-hmm.
And we can do
Mm-hmm.
that a million ways. It doesn't cost money, but that's where you get customer success, customer loyalty, customer retention. And then that feeds off other things, right? And then there's that ripple effect.
Absolutely. I love that idea. That story is amazing, Craig, and I appreciate you sharing that creativity and that setting yourself apart, the way you approach that. Because I think as candidates, there's ways to set yourself apart, right? And this is exciting. I really appreciate you sharing that.
What
And that's
Craig
what
is
Southwest does.
displaying, that energy, what Craig is displaying. I've invited some friends from Southwest and I'm connected to all, oh my God, I've got 75 people over there out of the network. But that energy is the number one thing I suggested. I heard what Craig was about 2, 3 years ago. There was a manufacturing company that Craig mentioned that he worked for. I heard that they were looking for a client success person. And I suggested Craig, and it was something that Craig had never been in that environment, had never been in that industry, anything. But when they met Craig, they hired Craig.
That's awesome.
But we hire
Yeah.
people, and Fisher will tell you, we hire people. We hire that thing that we can connect with. It's a connection. It's a relationship. If you got a connection, you
Yeah.
have an opportunity to build a relationship. Everybody ain't got time to build a relationship for Foster, but if you've got a connection, you got something to talk about. We have an opportunity to build a relationship. And I see Ryan Belton's with us as well, and Chris Ray. Thank you for joining us. So, guys, uh, real quick before we run out of time, Craig, let's talk a little bit about more about the Meet the Recruiter event and what it's all.
Yes. Yes, so Meet the Recruiter is a wonderful event. Currently, we have about 70 people that attend the event once every other
Uh-huh.
month, and about a dozen or so recruiters that they can come and meet in person. Now, unfortunately, we also have about 50, 60, 70 people on a wait list because our
Yeah.
rooms we're overgrown. So we just talked to a brand new facility. I'm not going to really announce it quite yet, but we can fit probably up to 300 attendees in this new facility. It's looking like everything's going to be inked here in another week or two, which means we'll be able to expand from about 12 recruiters to maybe up to 25 recruiters. Now,
Hmm.
Foster and Dana, if only we knew somebody who is tied into recruiters that could help us. I don't know who that could be.
Yeah.
If
Oh
there's
man,
someone out there, I need to talk to them.
I don't know. I see Charles Mitchell's out there. That's my running
Yeah.
buddy. Charles is my running buddy. Charles, we got to get. We definitely. I want you to meet Craig. Both Craigs actually. But I want to get you out to our event. And our first event for 2024, is it going to be in January or February, Craig?
Yes, sir. It'll be in January. Hopefully, at this
Uh-huh.
new venue we'll announce shortly. And not only is it just recruiters, but we're going to bring in people who are what I call value providers. Not necessarily a recruiter like Jason Hopper, not a recruiter, but he's got a massive amount of value that he can add to job seekers. People like resume coaches and practice interview teams and things like that, where people
Yes.
can come and really get a tremendous amount of all kinds of value. And then, of course, network with all kinds of other job seekers.
Nick Adami,
Nice.
hey
That is
man.
amazing.
I'm getting, you guys know I get distracted. I love when you guys let us know that you're there and you're listening. Chris Ray, I mentioned you just a few minutes ago, and hey, I see you're still with us. That's good. We haven't lost you. And Craig, thank you for that Meet the Recruiter. Now, guys, when we're about to have a Meet the Recruiter event, we do it every other month. I am involved with Bohall there, and Fisher, I'm going to be. I want to get you out there too if you've got time to join us. You know when we
Will
have
do.
our event, but it is tremendous, and you guys will see advertise on LinkedIn all over the place. And I'll tell you one thing: it's gotten to a point, guys. It carries so much value when if you do not apply, register, there's a registration link on what we market with. If you don't make it in 3 days, we ran out of room. But we
Hmm.
And
but
we are just Mez asked a question there also. Is there a website? The website's in creation right now. We're about 80% done with it, but there will be a website where you could go and check the event out. You'll also be able to look at every single recruiter, their face, their bio, their company, and what kind of
uh-huh.
jobs they actually recruit for. You'll be able to look at all of that so you know the value before you walk in the door.
And where we're going, guys, it's going to be important that you guys attend events like this because job search is not easy. I talked to a guy yesterday that says, "Oh my God, I got a job, looking for a job." I said, "Absolutely," and I'm afraid I'm not trying to scare you guys, but if we don't keep this human element going, Nick Adami, I see you out there. You're good with that, man. If we don't keep this human element going, it's going to be tough. It's gonna feel so robotic we're not gonna even like it. I mean, well, we don't like it now. We don't like not having the job. But you know what? I think this is an opportunity. Being a Christian man, it's an opportunity for us to step up and step closer into what God put us down here for. Hey, Catherine Thomas, it's good to see you. Awesome, awesome, awesome.
Look at all
So
these awesome people.
yeah, it's a good.
Yeah. Hey.
We had the two Craigs on, and man, everybody's listening to us today.
Craig
Thanks,
squared.
Greg.
Craig
I
squared.
Hey,
know
Craig
Rex. I
Fisher,
know
I
Rex is
gotta,
out there, Dana. So I got to
I
say hey
gotta,
to Rex.
Oh, Rex. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. I miss Rex. He's
Yeah.
the
Go ahead,
best.
Craig Bohall.
I was gonna say, I gotta ask Craig Fisher, if we're gonna put a bigger event together and I need another 10 or 20 recruiters, do you know anybody that would have connections to recruiters?
Yes,
Oh
I
my
do.
God.
I have a large network of recruiters. So
Okay, well, we'll talk.
yeah, we should talk. And by
Yeah,
the
you
way,
guys definitely connect. Yeah.
job seekers and recruiters just have empathy for each other, right? We're all coworkers in the world of work.
Yep.
That's it.
We are. And the music's coming
We'll
on,
see you
Foster.
guys next Friday.
Thank you.
Bohall, you got
See you
you
next
Merry
got this
Christmas.
Friday.
man, Mad Hatter. Oh my
Merry
God.
Christmas.
Merry
Merry
Christmas.
Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Bye.
Attention all business owners and creative minds.